What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode built by the Red Stick. It's your boy, Ronnie LaDuff, Michael Oakley, presented by Elevate Treatment and Legacy Center. First and foremost, we want to thank everybody for the love, man. We see that continued grow on all of our social media platforms, so we really, really appreciate it. We are blessed today to have a guest that I think is the only person I know who works more than Ronnie LaDuff, but Ronnie is the king of introductions, so Ronnie, go ahead, knock it out.
Listen, I met this guy 5 years ago. He's made an impact on my life. If you want to hear what recovery sounds like, I suggest you look up Voices of Recovery. I mean, this dude got more letters behind his name than the alphabet. He got more impressions than any comic you may know. His story is powerful. He's the baddest man in his field. If you don't know him, you're about to get to know him. And look, words can't even say enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Greg Greer in the Red Stick building.
Welcome.
I wish I knew all the letters.
I don't even know how to respond to that. More letters behind his name. I work with people who have far more letters than I do.
I don't know him, so it don't matter.
To Ronnie, to you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome
Man,
aboard.
This is so special. A lot of y'all probably just see a cool-looking guy with some glasses on, real buff, but y'all don't understand the impact this guy had on me. Look, this dude gave me such profound advice one time, right? I'm probably like a month and a half, not even a month sober. I'm like 2 weeks sober. And so we have the family. Oh, I'm telling the people too, because I told him this story before, but I want them to understand why this man means so much to me. And so this dude is probably the funniest dude in recovery. Hands down, other than me. You know what I'm saying?
You're pretty funny.
He is probably the funniest man in recovery. And so I'm like, how did you balance your professional and your comedy? Because it was a perfect balance. Do you still remember that? I came up on stage and asked you that. And you was like, the words were so powerful. You was like, I don't know, I just do it.
Did I really say that? Dude, you need to just quit.
Yeah. So that I build it up to say that.
I was waiting to hear something really profound. I was like, wow, I need to get my notebook out and remember whatever it is.
It makes sense. You just do it. And you know what? For the past 5 years, I've just been doing it.
So, first and foremost, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
You're not a stranger to Baton Rouge. Master's degree from Louisiana State University in social.
Go Tigers.
Yes, indeed. Currently a resident though of Monroe area, but that doesn't tie him down. The man's everywhere. First and foremost, what we like to get a little background. So, what's a little bit of your upbringing and story that's kind of led you to where you are right now?
Ooh, so your show is 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. We'll hit the bullet points. Yeah, the bullet points. All right. So I'm an Air Force brat. So I moved around as a kid, right? All over the place. And then I'm a recovered alcoholic. And as all the hospitalization, I lived in Los Angeles for 12 years as an adult, from 20 to 34, 22 to 34, did my math. And then
he's writing a book, and it's about some of his time, and I think it's the best name ever. It's the man on Hollywood Boulevard. No, the 12-foot banana on.
I was a 6-foot banana on Hollywood Boulevard.
Damn, I like that.
It's such a great name.
They give me a role-playing idea.
So, leave your sex life out of it. So living in Los Angeles for 12 years, come back here, and I forgot what the question was.
Just a background.
So, my original education was in radio, TV, film. So I've written a few plays. I did go out to California. I attempted stand-up comedy, and I worked in radio for a while. And then alcoholism and drugs took me a whole nother dimension.
Right.
Came back to Louisiana, and which is where my family's from. So when I say came back to, I wasn't born here. So then my family's from New Orleans, my mother's side. And then, I didn't get rid of that part of the accent. And then my dad's side of the family is from upstate Louisiana, which is, as you know, we Southern Louisianans, we don't recognize.
We don't always claim.
As Louisiana.
It's normally Southern Arkansas.
Exactly. So, I guess I went back to school and got a master's in social work, And then I accumulated a whole lot of other, I guess, certifications, licensures, and
so
worked.
Of course, that being the background, I really wanted to focus on, because I've known you for a while. Ronnie's known you for a while. And one of the things that always comes to me when we have conversations, because we have a lot of them, is the passion you have behind the growth that you do. So I want to highlight some of the things that you've been doing, because like I said in the intro, you're the only man I know who has more jobs than this man. And so, two-part question. What are some of those things that you're doing and that you're passionate about? And B, how do you feel like those have molded you into the man you are and B, desire to become? Because I know you're all about growing and evolving and building.
Evolving. So my passion, and I've shared this with you several times,
right,
is group psychotherapy. So I'm a clinical member and certified group psychotherapist with American Group Psychotherapy Association. I've been a member with them since 2008. And group has always been where I feel connected. And that's because, as us in alcoholism or other, we feel disconnected in our relationships.
Yep.
So it's sort of an overcompensate. So I'm always seeking to connect, always. That's been my passion. What have I built up? The private practice has allowed me to do more group. You guys, Michael has, Ronnie hasn't.
I'm coming.
He's been saying he's coming.
I became certified. I became certified in Souldrama, and that process started in 2014. I was in Boston, and you guys had Boston on here not too long ago.
Yeah.
And so I was up there, and I met Connie Miller, and she developed Souldrama. Ironically, in Sedona, Arizona, which I visited numerous times recently and going back to.
Yep.
And I have now, that's kind of been one of my fortes with Voices of Recovery, which is my private practice, that we do a 3-day workshop in Souldrama to identify our codependence, to identify the barriers to spirituality. And the codependence is, the definition by Connie, is a lack of a relationship with yourself, an absence of a relationship with yourself. And so therefore, you seek something outside yourself to help you feel better about, you, or I feel better about me.
And look, Ronnie hasn't had the privilege. He's had the offer multiple times, but he's never taken up the privilege.
Yeah, I know.
To attend a workshop.
He didn't want to come.
He don't want to come.
I want to come,
dude.
I want to come, but I feel like I don't even deserve.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit.
I haven't become the man worth becoming.
So I'll tell you this. A lot of people, a lot of our loyal listeners, and we're branching out. We appreciate all the new listeners. And I'll tell you this: if you have, you'll be able to back me up on this. If you haven't, the workshops that Greg puts on within the Souldrama platform, and I know they're ever evolving, and we'll talk about some new things that you're adding to your repertoire.
Ooh.
Nice word.
That's word of the day.
Word of the day.
We always get a word of the day. Don't worry about
it. It is a profound growth that exceeds growing for just alcoholics. Like I've participated in workshops with people who work in substance abuse, people who have no affiliation with substance abuse, people who are in recovery, people who aren't in recovery. Me and you had the pleasure to go to Greece and experience a 7-day workshop, which I recognize not everybody will have that experience, but there's how, just so we can get it out early, how can people find out about those workshops?
Oh, well, voicesofrecovery.org.
We'll link it in the description.
Voices of Recovery.
Where does Voices of Recovery come from?
Oh, so my sponsor, and I'm in recovery, I said that. So I was trying to think of a name, and he goes, because I do impressions, and he's like, you do impressions? Oh, yeah. He goes, why don't you call it Voices of Recovery?
But that is so simple and clever. So speaking of impressions,
we didn't talk about evolve. You guys are like ADD. So we started off asking this question, and we went way over here.
That's
shout out Mr. Mark again, because Mr. Mark said, "Hey, can y'all chill out with the ADD stuff?"
We're so bad about it. We're
Look at that
so
squirrel.
bad.
See what I'm saying? I almost had you. I almost made you look.
That made you look.
Yes, there was a. What were you about to say?
I love his impressions, right? And so one of the jokes you told with the impressions 5 years ago, dude, I still remember some of this stuff. And you said, "What's brown and in the woods?"
Oh my God.
And you said, "When it's poop." Get it? When it's poop. But he said it like Bill Cosby.
I was like, hey, man, what's brown sits in the woods? That's when it's poo. So that's, hey, man, let me tell you a little story. Now, the thing is, no, look, man, get a business of Jello pudding, my man.
Hey,
We're going to talk about doing a little story.
We're by no means like representing or condoning anything he did, but we just think impressions are funny. Disclaimer. There you go.
Well, okay, so that was an impression. We won't get out of it. But
Yeah. But
I do between 50 and 70 impressions. Those are voices and all kind of jazz.
And so that's what I meant. Like, whenever he did that, it's like, so like the whole week leading up to Family Day, it was like Gregory. It was like you was hyped up. And I'm like, man, this dude is
You were
like
disappointed then.
No. I wasn't disappointed. But like that's what brought me to like how did you mix like comedy with your professional like life? Because the whole weekend was set around you, and then like you doing these intense groups, and then like really like telling us about ourselves while doing
you
impressions.
consider yourself a funny man?
I do.
Thank you. How come?
Because God made me that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just because you just do you?
I do me.
I know you, but you were a funny kid. I'm pretty sure, and you did that for what?
Too long.
For attention. Thank you. And the thing is, it worked for you. You got attention by doing that. I did something very similar. And so as a little kid, I'm constantly performing. I'm trying to get attention. And so I did that in high school. I was the cast clown, and I got in all kind of trouble for it. And then I got attention for it, whatever. And so then working in radio when I was back in my early 20s, I had started to do impressions, and that got more attention. And then that just moved on. And it got so bad that I didn't even have an identity. So they were like, who's Greg? And I was like, I do not know. I can't tell you who that is. I would say that maybe it's not Bill. That's for darn sure. I'll promise you that. But I would just do all kind of stuff. But I never knew who Greg was, because Greg was constantly trying to entertain and perform for people, because I wanted positive affirmations and reinforcement to discover something about me.
I feel that in my soul.
Which is a good segue to get us back on topic of your journey being to discover, I guess, who Greg really is through that process. So we have a good relationship, so I know all the things, right? He does the Souldrama workshops. You have your private practice. You're a clinical member of AGPA. You work in the treatment industry, and your most recent thing was you visited Hawaii in order to get certified in activation breath work, correct?
Very good. Yeah, that's right.
You
And so
know nothing about me.
So I know everything about you. Don't play with me. You know what I know what you're built by?
Oh, am I built by sidekicks? That was the key word. You know what to do. Whatever the timestamp was, what they need to do,
send it to us
in the DM, right? So you have to now share this video. You have to like this video. You have to comment on this video. And then you also have to be a subscriber to the YouTube channel of Built by the Red Stick.
And tell them what they win.
They win a free pair of shoes. So check the Jordan release calendar from the beginning of this year to whatever shoe you want. You pick the shoe, you pick the size, you send it to me.
And once again, we're grateful for that.
But
we appreciate
the only way they win is if their name is pulled on the wheel.
Exactly.
So once we go through all the applicants and we see that you liked it, you shared it, you subscribed to the YouTube channel, you commented on the video, and that you DM'd me, Ronnie LaDuff, Michael Oakley, or the Built by the Red Stick Facebook page, the keyword and the time that you heard it the first time.
Yep.
The time that you heard Built by Sidekicks the first time, send that timestamp to us in the DMs, and then on one episode we will put your name on the wheel. We will spin the wheel live on camera, and whatever name lands on the wheel will be our winner, and you DM me the shoe and size.
That was a great segue by me, by the way. I just got to give myself kudos.
That was fire, bro. I was ready for it. All right.
I don't want to get
that was slick. I was on the down low, and I was so concerned that was going to happen when I was given this deep, profound, meaningful, tearful experience, and out of Built by the Rest, it was going to come up, and I was like, wow, that really took away from that moment.
We got it. No, but
you did.
The tears coming.
So we were talking about all the things, and we talked, and like I said, I believe, and I could be wrong, that's part of your journey on exploring yourself and learning yourself and being an ever-growing man. And we always talk about, like, one of our big things is overcoming things, and people thinking just because, like, they're sober now that life doesn't still happen. And one of the things that's always been attractive for me to you is that you've always shown, and I understand that things happen and whatnot, but you've always shown to me that you're willing to grow and learn new things. So the activation breath work, the Souldrama certification, and all of these things, we talked about evolving, and that was part of the question. How do you feel that's helped you evolve, and what's next for Greg?
So you're asking me the activation breath work, how that?
Just all of it, like all your continuous education and Souldrama and growing in AG.
Well, let me share insight.
Okay.
So I got a master's in social work. I am a licensed master social worker. I'm an LMSW. So the goal is to become an LCSW, a licensed clinical social worker. That's why I went to school. That was going to be how I do my private practice and all that jazz. But I could not pass that stupid exam. That's right, ASWB. Where are you? Yeah, very upset with you. So I have taken that exam 7 times, saw a psychiatrist, did anything and everything possible to try to find out what in the world, how come I can't, well, I just don't do standardized exams very well. So what I did was I was like, well, you can't do a private practice with an LMSW. So I became licensed addictions counselor. In the state of Louisiana, you can have a private practice. Well, I do more than just addictions work. I also work with that codependence part. Now, addictions is a form of codependence because you're dependent on alcohol. But what about other relationships and attachments that go with it? So I became certified with Souldrama and became a trainer. So I can work around that part. But it's a spiritual model, and that's how come with it. Now, let's not forget the Certified Group Psychotherapist part. So to do be Certified Group Psychotherapist member of AGPA, that required testing from the licensed addictions that I had. That built on my private practice to continue doing group. Then I looked into, in the last several years, the spirituality came from Souldrama. Doing Souldrama, because Souldrama is about looking at your soul.
Right.
I do not believe that you have a soul. I believe that you are a soul. I think we are all each a soul, and we have this journey, and this body is just a vessel that takes us along with it. Not to get too hippie with you cats, but I'm a hippie. I just don't have any hair.
I'll give you some.
And like you, so that journey, however, to give insight into who I am, is I ended up going to Sedona last year. So I've been married twice. Through my second divorce, I went to Sedona to try to explore further my spirituality and more about who in the heck am I. So while I was out there is where I started getting, that's where I started doing breath work. Right. And I met Ocean Eagle, and I want to throw something out to him because this is the gentleman that certified me in his modality, and he was on CBS with Lisa Ling, and just so happened serendipitously that I was on their episode that they recorded while I was in Sedona, and that was a complete synchronous event because I wasn't supposed to go. Just one thing happened to the other, like a little domino effect. So I met this guy, did the breath work, and was like, what in the world is that? Well, first of all, what that does in the way that you breathe is you're able to activate your own DMT. And what is DMT? Dimethyl.
Death stuff, huh?
Death stuff.
Yeah. That's
well,
stuff
they say it actually
when you die.
Well, I wanted to pronounce the word because a lot of people like they DMT, but what is it? Well, it's dimethyltryptamine. Dimethyltryptamine. Well, what's the importance behind it? Well, they say born and death, but your body already has this. Now, plants have this. So much on the planet Earth actually has this. And you can have these psychedelic experiences, and that's wonderful, but the breath work, you do it and activate it yourself. So being in recovery, I want to be somebody who's pure and doing this from me.
Right.
Now, what does this do? This allows you to experience exploration, self-exploration. So you actually disconnect from your trauma and see it objectively. Because when you're in your trauma, you're so stressed out about the emotions and consumed with it that I'm not able to take a good look at it. Like people will say, Greg, it's because you got this thing growing outside of your head. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I can't see it. Well, this allows me to step back and go, oh, there it is. There's a thing growing outside of my head. Well, and I, say that for the visual.
Right.
So that experience helped me learn how to slow down, helped me learn how to meditate. And the meditation, 20, 30 minutes without any assistance, but that experience did. And since I went there, I also enrolled in working on a PhD in quantum metaphysics. Now, while I'm working on my PhD, yeah, I'll be a doctor one day. So, but what that does even further is help me look at what my passion is, what my direction is going to be. So the reason I share that too is now I'm a ordained minister with the International Ministry of Metaphysics. And what is that? That's Christ consciousness. So when we talk about in Alcoholics Anonymous and we're looking at spirituality, I'm looking at step 11, sought through prayer and meditation, a conscious contact with God as I understand him. So where is God? So Luke 17:21, Jesus said, don't look for the kingdom of heaven outside of you, look within. Activation breath work, you are within yourself, and you're going to do a self-exploration. And within yourself, you connect. This doesn't mean not connect with relationships. Souldrama is about how do I connect with people? I understand how much I relate to another human being, because in alcohol or addiction, we isolate and withdraw. We don't know how to connect with people. In group work, it's like, oh, I am. With activation breath work, I'm exploring further on my own so that I can connect even further with others and that we together are going to grow even further. So the ministry component of it is, I had no idea I was going to be a minister. That wasn't the goal. I was just more interested in, what's going to be the science behind Christ consciousness and what does that mean? Well, it has to do with energy. And you hear a lot of people talk about what is energy. You can look at Albert Einstein. He himself talked about the future of medicine is going to be frequency. And so frequency and energy and all of that correlates, connected. Listen to the music that you listen to and how it influences and affects. And I can speak ad nauseum about a lot of this, but the evolution of myself is to identify who I am, how I connect with more others. And what's interesting, my childhood is a direct correlation of gifts given to me to seek what I'm seeking. So I didn't pass the LCSW, and this goes back to all of us having apparently ADD. Is the reason.
Such a true statement.
The thing is that I remember going into, and I was raised Catholic, but I don't practice it. I went into an adoration room on the third time that I failed the exam, and I was like, God, why, what's the reason? And it's like, well, you got more to learn. There's a reason for this, and it clicked. Because that's when I started getting other licenses and certifications. Now, I know me personally. Had I got my LCSW, if I'd have passed that exam the very first time, I would have never sought getting an LAC. I would have not become a certified group psychotherapist and clinical member with AGPA. I would not have sought out Souldrama. I would not have sought out quantum metaphysics. All of that because my LCSW, I don't need to do any of that. I don't need, but I do. And the problem is Greg doesn't want to explore. These experiences have to occur. And now I have to be open-minded to go, when something bad happens, how come that happened? There's a reason. There's a reason for it. And if I find meaning, I'm going to find purpose. And so many of us lost without purpose. But there's meaning in everything.
Welcome to Elevate, a place for people like you built by people just like you.
We're committed to helping all elevate from the destruction of addiction.
I hope I would give somebody who's either new in recovery or that's currently struggling with addiction, as today can be the last day. That you struggle the last day, that you wonder how you're going to have to chase down that drink, that fix, whatever the case may be for you.
At Elevate, we embody more than treatment. It's about passion, love, understanding, truly being your partner on your path to recovery.
Our staff treats substance abuse and co-occurring mental health disorders with a multidisciplinary approach to best fit our clients' needs. We all just embrace each other. We genuinely care, check up on each other. And it's not an act. You matter. You're more than what you've allowed yourself to assume you were.
When perseverance, hard work, and dedication meets, success happens.
At Elevate, we have a variety of programs to fit our clients' personal needs, such as intensive outpatient, and the aftercare program.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, give us a call. Elevate. Do more than recover. Leave a legacy.
I'm gonna find it.
See, you ain't tell me that about Souldrama. That's all you had to say. I would have been there. That's all he had to say, right? The Quantum Meadow.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing is, though, we talked about it a couple episodes back. When passion meets purpose, I feel like people become unstoppable. And from our conversations, me and you, Greg, like, it's always about being aware. I'll never forget. So one of the first interactions we had, where our relationship started to form in the manner that it's formed today, was I was working at a facility. You had came to do, it was either an in-service or a family day or something, and I think it was an in-service with the staff, because after we were hanging out, and me and you were just talking, and you asked a question, and you said, what is the most profound moment that you've had in the last 30 days? And then as I stumbled upon my words to even try to think of something, you taught me, as we've continued to grow, that it's not always about what the moment is, but are you aware of the moment? Mindfulness. And for we talk on our platform a lot about the positivity that we want to send out into the world, letting people know that they can overcome things, and letting people know that we're just two normal guys who still mess up on a daily basis, still face troubles on a daily basis, still let our previous traumas strike that chord that still resonate and lead to sometimes messing up in relationships or whatever it may be in that moment. But we're still seeking to grow. We're still seeking to learn new things. And while you have a lot of people that have a lot of letters behind their name in your circle, to me and to what Ronnie made reference to, you're a very educated man to us.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the fact that you still continue to seek new things, even sometimes things that are outside of maybe your comfort zone or outside of the norm. Because some people might watch this and be like, hippie stuff. But that's the beauty for me in life, is being able to challenge yourself to grow outside of the norm. Yep. And challenge yourself on sometimes outside of your beliefs. We talk about it sometimes. Sometimes people get so stuck. I think it was one of the first episodes we recorded.
Ooh, hey, did you hear my?
I did, but I wasn't talking about me. I did, but I wasn't talking about me.
I'm just trying to help you cats out.
Sometimes people, not myself, I recognize it. Take the word "stuck" out of your vocabulary, because it gives you the excuse to stay where you're at.
Yep.
It gives you permission. The reason I say excuse, because we all have excuses, but what it does, it justifies.
It justifies.
Now, you can use the word excuse, but what I'm trying to do, so I'm also certified in Neurolinguistic Programming. I threw that out there. So, but the language that we use, the verbiage that comes out of our mouth, And remember, we learned that from our parents, and then society as a whole too. Critically thinking, taking your brain, which by the way you have all the freedom in the world to use, and look at what is being said, and then reprogram. You find new language that gives you new. You said passion gives purpose. Yeah. Well, what is build on that? Build.
Yeah.
And so when people, let me think of a different word. When people get complacent in their own thought processes instead of being able to expand, I think that's where lack of conversation ends up happening, and lack of growth, and lack of understanding, and lack of patience become infused into people's life. And like I made reference to, our journey that me and Ronnie have been on with Built by the Red Stick is to create positivity, to create love,
healing, peace, understanding.
Yeah. And so I say all that to I guess give you your flowers, as the kids say these days. Yeah. Give you your kudos on.
I don't think they say that, but keep going.
I know that. On the ability to continue to challenge yourself to grow. And I think it's been an inspiration to me. I won't speak for Ronnie. I'll let him speak for himself.
I can't even put it in those words. So what he said, but it's for some reason, for some strange, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like you don't even need to hear that stuff because you're not doing it for that. You literally doing it for Greg. Like, and when I say that, it's like, you're not doing it for like people to be like, oh my God, like, look. You really doing it because you a man that wants to evolve and wants to be better for himself. You found your path on how to do that, and you keep your head down and you do it. Or do somewhere in there you kind of feel good when people get all mushy and tell you how much they mean to you.
I've had, I'm extremely grateful when somebody tells me what I mean to them, because I value that. Yeah. When I say value, I equate that word with appreciation.
Yes, sir.
So for all the bankers out in the world, they're like, oh, appreciation is a big word. And I said, yeah, that means value. What does value ultimately mean? Gratitude.
Yeah.
Because I throw gratitude around. So understand, what does that mean? So it means a great deal to me. I've had some people that I've experienced, and when I say experienced, I'm going to use the word experience, not just witness, but participate with their journey, because I'm a part of it. And that gives me, because I've, as a kid, not feeling like a part of. And you know what? I was a part of a lot of things, but our perception is distorted.
Right.
And so therefore, consequently, that's how come we will seek to do whatever it is we do. So do I do this for Greg? The internal motivation is an ongoing, I think, exploration. How come I do it? I right now, I just do. Yeah. I think the motivation may change on a daily basis, and that's part of evolution, because today I'm doing it for this reason. Tomorrow it may be different. What will that be? I have no idea.
Yeah. Everybody deserves, and I know everybody don't have that, but everybody deserves, excuse me, I'm not about to cry. My voice, hold on.
Hey, Ronnie, if you did, it's okay.
It's okay, I know. What we say, black men don't cry. Nah, that's not true. We cry.
And we break stereotypes.
And we break stereotypes, so that was a joke. But I think everybody deserves to have a Greg Greer in their circle or in their corner, right? Man, I hold so much value in having your number in my phone, and not only just having it, knowing that if I text or if I call, you respond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you a person with knowledge, with answers. You might not have all answers, and you are willing to share it. Like, you don't hold it. You don't charge for it. I mean, of course, you put on your events and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the personal connection we have. Yeah. And so I might not show it, and we might not talk every day or as much as you and Mike, but I hold our relationship here. You know what I mean? And I tuck it away to where, like, can't nobody get to it.
Thanks,
man. Because that's one of those relationships I value. I really do. And so when Mike said we was having you on, bro, I'm like, oh my God, you know what? We gonna do this.
Excited.
I'm gonna wear his favorite pair of shoes because you're an Asics lover.
Are they Asics?
These are Asics.
Dang,
these are Asics,
you were
baby.
listening.
Oh man,
I feel heard. Wait. Where's my pear?
Oh,
So, wait a minute now.
Oh, wait. What's the word of the day?
It's built by Sidekick.
Just trying to help you catch market. All right.
So I'm like, yeah, we're going to start the contest, but it's a special episode. Like, he means so much to me. And, I don't have the elegant words to, like Mike, but
Your passion is elegant.
that's it. That's what I have. I have my passion. And so, just having you, man, and having that role model and knowing that I can learn from you, I feel safe. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm okay because look, I'm about to get married in 8 days, and this is gonna be my.
is it really in 8 days? I still don't have anything.
Now he's gonna cry.
I'm in the wedding.
He's in the wedding, bro.
What do you mean you don't have anything? You mean like a gift?
No, the clothes that we're supposed to wear.
November 23rd, bro. I need you to get on it.
Are you doing tuxes and all that?
No, it's not tux.
So I'm gonna do like a jacket with pants. They call it a tux, huh?
Suit jacket.
Well, it's not it's
Tuxedos do have pants and jackets.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have a pants, a jacket,
suit jacket. You're gonna have a suit jacket.
Yeah,
not
with a pocket square and a bow tie. I'm gonna be James Bonnish. James Bond-ish.
Like Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Sure.
Bond.
You are. Yeah.
James Bond.
But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Look,
No, you
look.
good.
I appreciate the words, man. Look, that's a lie. I can see your listeners going, yeah, enough with praising this guy, Greg.
Yeah, but
and that's how I feel about it. But I'm grateful, and I don't want to take. And you know what? And I don't want to take away your gratitude.
Yeah.
From what you shared, because
Look,
it means a lot.
We
to me.
love our listeners, but like this is for me right now. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere out there, somebody is gonna hear what they need to hear, but like this is for me. You know what I'm saying? This is the beauty of staying steadfast and staying committed and being willing to learn and being willing to change is that I get to meet people like you and not abuse you. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure somewhere along the way, someone has met a Greg Greer or someone Greg Greer like, but was so stubborn and not willing to change that they missed their opportunity. So, from
Pretty sure we've all done that.
I'm about to say,
I've
done it multiple times, but this time I didn't miss my opportunity. So from April 2019 until, November 15th, right now, 2024, like, I got me a Greg Greer. You know what I mean? And a Mike Oakley. I got two of them in one room. Pause.
So
we're going to pause that.
And so with going back to the things that you've used to grow yourself, what is next within that line of work? So I really part of loving this platform is giving people resources. And so we talk about it all the time that we both have accumulated resources. And so you are one of those resources with your workshop. So how can people tap people who are maybe in recovery or maybe in a bad relationship or maybe in a good relationship but want to continue to grow or want to seek those things such as Souldrama, activation, breath work? What are some of the events you have coming up that you're going to be hosting?
So in November, I'm doing a Souldrama in North Louisiana.
Okay.
I'm looking to do another one in December in Alabama at another treatment center there. I typically will schedule these as I'm requested.
Okay.
So I did a Souldrama in Lafayette in September, and that was because asked there. So by people calling me, I mean, the one in Alabama was supposed to be in Navarre Beach, Florida, but the individuals in Alabama were like, hey, we want you up here, and then we'll look at Florida later. And so I guess I kind of just, I put my word out there.
Yeah.
I've never really marketed as others do. I mean, I have a website and all that jazz, but I don't spend commercials. I don't. It's really by word of mouth. Have you experienced it? Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Rolls Royce commercial?
A what?
A Rolls Royce commercial?
A what?
Have you ever seen a Rolls Royce commercial?
Actually, 3 times because I ain't ever seen none of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mic drop. Hey, you build it, they gonna come. You ain't gotta market it. It markets itself.
So how do I look? Right now, I do it by request. Because in the meantime, I'm seeking my own. I'm looking to go back to Sedona to do some more breath work with my colleague. And then I'm also looking to a Souldrama I want to do in Bonaire Island. out in the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it, man.
Potato.
Whatever, dude. And so equally goes, the breath works are, can be done in a day.
Okay.
But Souldrama is a 3-day workshop. And I want to be able to explore and expand what can be done outside of that. So right now I'm just building. I say right now, I've always been building.
So one of my questions that I always like to ask guests, because it's just always impactful to me, because I know me and Ronnie have discussed it, and I know my why. Like, why do I drive so hard for the things that I want in life? So I'll volleyball it up to you. What is your why?
Well, as you know, I don't use the word why in my vocabulary. I like the words how come. Because why comes across to me as accusatory. And if you remember growing up and your parents would go, why did you do that? Why? So I went, and then what happens when people ask me why, I go into my head and I get analytical.
Yeah.
So I like to believe, I want to start asking how come from my heart. Because when I ask why, I ask from my head. And so from my heart, your question is, again,
how come you drive? How come you work so hard?
I think that's still a question ongoing because I find myself in a place where I feel connected. I'm constantly seeking connection. I've always told you, it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
In my youth, I didn't feel I had any. And probably there were many around, but my perception is I did not. And so I overcompensated in trying to seek what is a relationship through my addiction. And then when I got sober, and I've been to treatment 3 times, I've been hospitalized at least 8 psych wards, a lot of the emergency rooms in my past. So all of these experiences of seeking a relationship, it's always about connecting for me.
Yeah.
So how am I going to continue to connect? Well, I think it's infinite. This universe is nothing but infinity. So at least as far as our little limited brains can.
So I'll pose this then.
Not answering your question, huh?
As a person with your intellect and as a person with your drive, there are probably things that you can be doing in a different line of work than helping people. And so yes, there's a connection. But how come you want to help people?
I help people because it helps me. And I seek to help me because it helps people.
Y'all heard it. So, I mean, I
But if you kind of think about it, like, every time when me and you have that conversation, and now Mr. Greer just answered that question, it all comes back to like getting that internal fulfillment.
Absolutely.
And it's not like we talk about not being able to put a monetary value on the feeling of seeing somebody light turn on, or seeing somebody reconnected with their family, kids, husband, wives, or whatever the case may be, become a productive citizen of society. It's no better feeling than that. That gets me higher than any drug or drink ever did. And so it's kind of like cool to see how the answer, it always come back to the same thing, is that ultimate, payment.
Yes, and I believe, and it's my belief, and it's our podcast, so I'm entitled to share it.
And if it's your belief, it's my belief.
I believe that the drive for within people that leads to help. Yes, there is the old old saying that, by helping you, I'm helping me. And I could be wrong, but I believe there's a difference when a person, and I'll speak for myself, my passion for helping people and wanting to see growth in people, I believe at some point becomes bigger than just the return it comes on me. I believe that it's a bigger calling from my higher power, and it's about aligning that that path of what I'm walking versus what God envisioned me doing with my life when he gave me gifts or allowed me to learn gifts from my childhood. Yes, do I enjoy the rewards and the internal gratification of helping people? I do. However, I also want to see a better world for my children and just children in general. Like we talked about it a couple of weeks back. I had the privilege of going to speak at a high school for Red Ribbon Week. And while it was a difficult audience, we did have some immaturity within it. It still had the ability to we talk about making generational changes and generational impact. And I think that one of the things that I said was that I believe that change comes with education and motivation. And so when you pair those two things, because if you just have motivation and you're just running forward without any education, you're probably going to run into a wall.
Right.
And if you just have education, but you have no motivation to relay that, you're just going to be a smart person who thinks you're better than everybody.
Smart loner.
But when you marriage those two things together, change happens. And I saw something one time and it said, you'll always be dead a lot longer than you were alive. And I hope that somehow, some way, something I do can create a positive impact for that longevity of that part of life or afterlife or whatever your belief is versus what I'm doing here, if that makes sense.
I'm smelling what you're cooking.
I can dig it.
I'm seeing what you're peeing. So I have a question. How does it feel to be the best swimmer in the world and never got to compete against the best swimmer in the world?
What are you even talking
The
about?
audience want to know. How does it feel being the best swimmer? Yeah, you're the best lapper in the pool. How does it feel not being able to ever get to show your talents against Michael Phelps, which is decorated as the best swimmer in the world? I got my money on you.
Dude, my swimming is nowhere in comparison. I mean,
He's being modest, ladies and gentlemen. That's Greg Greer here. Give it up for him. He's being modest. Every time I see you, you in the pool.
No, you look on Facebook, and I like to post a picture of me going, hey, I just swam. You didn't see any swimming on there. You just said I swam. I swam a mile.
Whoo! That's 5,000 and some feet, Petey.
32. Well, that's some 5,000 feet, but it's 32 laps. And then I do a cold plunge. And then I like to get some running in, which is really an elliptical. It's not real running. So, because it's not an impact on the joints because I'm getting older.
Right.
And so it's just like, keeping your body healthy.
Okay. So I need one more favor from y'all, bro. Just one small, teeny favor. My mom's birthday tomorrow. So could you just look? You ain't even got to sing. If you could just look in the camera and say happy birthday, Gwanda.
Well, can't we do like Elvis?
Oh, happy birthday to you.
It's for you, Mimo.
Oh, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Gwanda LaDuff.
Oh, happy birthday.
Birthday.
Oh, to Mama. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Now, see, if y'all had
Happy
this,
birthday, Mama
y'all
LaDuff.
could post my picture up there when I did singing telegrams in Los Angeles, and I used to do Elvis. That was pretty ridiculous.
That would be. We're gonna have to get into that.
No, I'm just saying.
That was. I mean, I
But
still
that was
don't
for
even
your mom.
think-
See how I just did that? It was all about me. It was for your mom.
But, well,
Oh, it's
Mama,
all- I'm
we
sorry,
love
Mama.
you. Happy
sorry, Mama.
birthday, my baby. Can't wait to
Yes, indeed.
celebrate it with you.
Well, Mr. Greer, we appreciate you coming on. Our time has
Definitely
come to an
appreciate
end.
Man.
Thank you both.
Listen, people, y'all know what happened this episode.
I don't think they did. I hope y'all heard it.
I hope, if not, you might want to go play it back.
You better play it back. Built by Sidekicks has been said. I don't even know the timestamp yet,
But it's on there.
but it's on there. So we need y'all to like this video, We need y'all to share this video. We need y'all to comment on this video. We need y'all to be subscribers to our YouTube channel. And then one final thing is we need y'all to DM the keyword
To Ronnie
and the
LaDuff.
timestamp to Ronnie LaDuff.
Michael
Oakley.
Axelrod Oakley on Facebook.
On Facebook, or the Built by the Red Stick page on Facebook. The contest is live. The contest is now. The contest is popping. And until then, like always, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer. Built by the Red Stick, baby. Built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all.